my friend to Carlos was actually because we were campaigning against Ngeno. And in that campaign, what was extremely interesting is that we would go there and say, to Pigia Kura Jubilee, we do what we needed to do. When we came back to Nairobi, he never took offense. Ngeno never took any offense. He used to say, you people don't know those people. Those are my people. I have come from very far. I actually used to say I created a constituency and that nothing will change. He kept a very good spirit as a politician, a person who is able to fight during the day and negotiate at night. He knew when to compete with colleagues and when to negotiate with them. And we had later a very good relationship that grew over time. The more I stayed close to Ngeno, I felt like he was a very underrated leader, extremely underrated. In fact, for a person who went to Maseno school and did his first degree out of the country in Kiev, and then had a second degree here with another master's degree, he was the kind of person that I think all of us assumed because of his style of politics and the way he mingled with the people in Emurua Dikir, and the way he never threw the card of his academic achievements all over. We actually underrated his intellect and his capabilities. It's until you sit down with him and engage him that you realize that he had a certain depth in terms of intellect, knowledge, and appreciation of issues. Number two, I don't know if there's something like that, Bishop will tell me. Ngeno was quietly and deeply a religious man. And that is another contradiction. For some of us who went to Sunday school and grew up in pastors' families, it used to fascinate me how in his public speeches, he had the capabilities to speak about verses in the Bible often and relate it with his political journey. And he really used to quote those deep verses, and the interpretations would indicate a person who had an appreciation of theology, an appreciation of the Bible and Christianity. No wonder every of his example he used to give was always about heaven, a new land. I think it's because also of the challenges he used to face in Narok, Transmara, Emurua Dikir, on the challenges he went through. It was always, figuratively, he always used to tell his people there is a better land to go to. His favorite song was Kalenjin hymn songs 100. And I've heard him sing many times. Mieme nekararan misi nekikere amukayanet Sip kostjobwe korona tabara kipsengwe tungi boy. You want to pretend there are no Kalenjins here? Kere yeti kimni tunki boy tu yeki kere Jesu. So somehow there was a depth of faith in him that was underrated. And I think he was quietly in communion with God in his life, unlike some of us who publicly professed. Ngeno, a very interesting issue that has maybe not been captured here, or people fear to say it. He was actually something unique there that was called kingpin. That everybody... So there was this joke all the time, you meet him and he says, you know, I'm the kingpin. And then, so I used to tell him, but who are you competing with? That is an opposed. He once had to explain himself when politics became too much. So he said, they are in the skies, there is a sun, that is President William Ruto. There is a moon, which is his deputy, and there are other bigger stars. So he used to tell us that he's a firefly. Is it the firefly? That his kingship is a firefly. So he used to say he glows at night. He's one of those fireflies. And as we think about it, and it was really very interesting. When we think about it, it reminds me the sermon of Martin Luther King Jr. when he preached about Mark chapter 10:35, about the drum major instincts. And he said that, you know, in us, when James and John asked Jesus that they would like to be put on the left side and the right side in their kingdom, it was Jesus who told them that, yes, that is fine, but it has to come through sacrifice. It takes sacrifice and servant leadership to be in my right side or left side. And I think as